Hi, this is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. You're going to have bariatric surgery? Well, there's some prep work you need to do in order to make your surgery successful. In the next couple of videos, I'm going to talk to you about how to be successful in having bariatric surgery. Now, the first thing you need to do is prepare for that surgery. And as early as you can, start walking. Start making yourself as strong as possible. I really recommend you up the amount of meat that you eat to give yourself as much protein as you can get to make yourself as strong as possible. You want to become a quick healing machine. So the better you do that, the better and stronger you're going to be for it. This is elective surgery. You get to choose when you're going to have the surgery. You know what's coming up on a certain date, so you want to be as healthy as you possibly can to maximize healing. So go ahead and start building that into your schedule and start working at it. Little by little, a little bit every day just makes it so much easier. Number two, your doctor is going to give you a very specific diet that you need to eat the 2 weeks or so before the surgery. It is a liver shrinking diet. If you eat the standard American diet, odds are you have fatty liver disease. Most Americans do. What that means is you've had an excess of carbohydrates into your system. Your body tends to, because you can only have 2 milligrams, basically 2 teaspoons or so of sugar in your bloodstream at any given moment. It stores it in the liver, but it all, before it stores it into the muscle tissue. And it's always working to keep glucose under control, and the liver is a very good storage place for it. The problem is when you get too much and the muscles can't take it, and while it's working to try to get it into the fat cells, it's going into the liver. We have a lot of people that show up with fatty livers, and you do not want to have a fatty liver when you have bariatric surgery. Let me tell you just how painful it is if you don't. See, what will happen is the surgeon, here's your stomach, and they're going to cut off 70% of it. If your liver gets in the way of him coming into the side to cut it out, he's got to use a probe to push that up. How painful is it to have your liver touched? Well, it's so bad that in boxing, you'll notice that sometimes a boxer will get hit in the chest and go down and collapse, maybe even knocked out. He got hit smack on the liver in a very vulnerable way. That's how vulnerable you are to blows to your liver. So don't be that guy. Utilize, go with the low carb diet, utilize what they've got to make sure that your liver is shrunk up as much as possible so the surgeon has a clear path. You do not want him to have to use that forceps to move your liver out of the way. But you also need to practice getting ready for that first month after the surgery. This is one of the tips that I found on one of the different videos. I was looking for how to be successful and how to have bariatric surgery before I had mine. And here are a couple of the best tips that I got. And number one is to practice drinking as little as possible. Because when your first month, you cannot gulp like you used to. So get a shot glass, fill it up with water, and practice sipping. That is a new thing for many of us who are having bariatric surgery because we're gulpers. We didn't get this way, we did not get into the shape that we're in where we need bariatric surgery because we ate like gentlemen. So grab a shot glass, practice sipping water, and keep that shot glass for you after the surgery because you're going to want to use it to just very patiently sip little sips of water. And you should be constantly sipping little shots of water because you need to stay hydrated. You're not going to be able to sit down and chug an 8-ounce, 12-ounce glass of water or soda anymore. Start also during, the next step of prep is to practice eating. And you're going to have to learn to practice eating very slowly. And that is a tough skill. That was a very tough skill for me because you cannot, when your stomach is healing during that first month, you cannot just gulp food. The way you're going to eat after the surgery is you're going to go a week on clear liquids. a week on broth, basically, thin soup, no meat in it, just soup, broth type stuff. Number 3, you're going to then eat like eggs, very soft food, and then you're going to eat a week of pureed food. So here's some things for your shopping list to start getting ready for your surgery. This one was a lifesaver, especially during the weeks when I could not, when I had to eat very slowly pureed food, and I like my food warm. So I got to use the Mr. coffee warmer, and we put a plate on that, and that would keep my food warm because it would take me an hour to eat the meal, and I hate cold eggs. So get one of those. Get a blender because you're going to need one on week 4 to puree your food. Learn how to make bone broth. If you don't have an Instapot, you can use a crock pot, or you can use just a pan on the stove. But go to a place like Sprouts or some other place, and you will find bones for making broth. And get some recipes. Learn to make clear bone broth, because it is better than anything you're going to get in the store. It will give you a little bit of protein, but also a lot of minerals, and it will help the healing. So good quality homemade bone broth is the elixir of life during week 2. So learn how to make that. Now, while you're on clear liquids during the first week, with my surgeon, I was cleared to drink Isopure protein. That's a brand name. It was a thing I got over at GNC, and I found the flavor. I tasted several to try to find out. There's clear liquid protein drinks. Check with your surgeon, make sure it's okay, that you're okay drinking them, but they're sugar-free, and they've got about 45 grams of Isopure protein in them. And I didn't think they tasted all that bad. Some people like them, some people don't. But it did do something really incredible for me. It kept my energy up for that first week when I could only drink clear liquids. So I highly recommend, before you have the surgery, check out, see which ones you like. They come in a myriad of different flavors. Find out which ones your surgeon recommends, which ones he'll allow. You want things that are not irritating to the stomach, but give you the protein that you need in order to heal. Because you want to heal quickly, you want to have energy, you don't want to be lethargic, you don't want to be just drinking pure water. You need some nutrients to help you heal. So utilize the time going into the surgery to shrink the liver, get yourself as healthy as you can, get yourself some gadgets ahead of time. A blender. Instapot, I think, is a great investment, because when we go into the next phase of getting you healthier, we'll be talking about doing a carnivore diet, and an Instapot is a darn handy little tool to have, particularly for cheap roasts and stuff like that. But it makes fantastic bone broth. And if you just Google bone broth, you're going to find lots of recipes. Some of them you can get some with Instapots, others that just stay on the stove for a couple of days. But just boil those bones down. Make an old-fashioned broth that will be very nourishing, but also easy on the stomach. Learn to start. If you don't cook for yourself, golly, please start to learn. At least for that first month, because there's just frankly not a lot out there for people that are recovering from bariatric surgery. You're just going to need some, the eggs that are soft, etc. You're going to need, I like to use a roast, when you're pureeing. That's what the next phase of the Instapot is. I cooked a roast, and that one roast lasted me all week, but I took that roast, which is very soft meat, and then blended it, pureed it, and then ate that final week. So this is your prep, this is your homework. Get it ready for the surgery. If you do these steps, you're going to kick butt. You're going to heal up quickly. And as an added bonus, you're going to get over your addiction to carbohydrates and processed food. And you're going to make yourself stronger for the long haul, because bariatric surgery is not a magic wand. It doesn't make you lose weight. You have to do the work. But it is a fantastic tool for losing weight. So I'm not an advocate for it. I'm not telling you that, if I had that to do over again, I would have done it with a keto carnivore diet. But if you are committed to having the bariatric surgery, I want you to be successful and learn from my experiences and the things that I learned over 10 years ago that worked extremely well and made me extremely successful at winning at bariatric surgery. So utilize these tools. And in the next video, I will talk to you about some of the other changes that you're going to have to do and learn to modify to make yourself win at bariatric surgery. This is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. Remember, health is a struggle, and you're all alone in this. Nobody is going to do it for you. You have to do it yourself. But hey, on the plus side, we're all alone in this together.